age veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people?
And we got a special guest on here today, a point guard from back in the days from Chicago. Everybody hailed him as the real true point guard from Chicago. Did his thing at King High School, went on to Bradley to do his thing, then went overseas to Argentina. Man, he's coaching right now. His resume too long for me to go all the way into it. Give it up for the legend, Willie Scott, man. What's up, Willie Scott?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Man, Willie, we are all good, brother.
Oh, good, man. Hey, every show we done, everybody like, you got to get Willie Scott on. Right
Yeah.
there. Everybody was like, I was like, man, that man must have been cold, man. You was cold like that?
Yeah, they did, Willie.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? Go ahead, Willie.
We try not to say we were cold.
Okay.
We try to let somebody else say it, and that's just kind of how I roll. But I held my own. I can definitely say that.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Willie, I remember talking to people, when I went over to King, and I never had, that cockiness that, I'm the man, I'm like, and they were like, man, it was great players that came here through this King High School before you. And I was like, I know. I know. So you was like, to me, one of the first, and like that I remember, like it could be somebody that came before you, but you and Teddy Grubbs are the ones that I remember that people always talk about when they mention King High School, and everybody that I talked to always said you were a general. Like you got everybody involved. You knew it where everybody's supposed to be. Just, your point guard, what you're supposed to do, and then you also knew how to get them buckets too. So tell some of our listeners about Willie Scott that may not know Willie Scott.
Well, I have to admit, my career was a little different from most people. I feel like I don't want to use the word underrated, but I always had so many good players that could score the ball. And so I developed into a point guard that pass first, shoot second type guard. Although I was always able to score it and really shot it really well, but I wasn't known for that because when you have a Teddy Grubbs on your team, who's one of the number one players in the country, then you go on to Bradley, you got Mitchell Anderson, who's one of the number one players in the country. And even in the summer league, and you're playing with some NBA guys, it's like, so I just kind of accepted that role. I had a high IQ, and I knew where to get the ball to the person at the right time. And, I basically got my points off stealing the ball. And that doesn't accumulate a lot of points. So I never averaged a lot of points, but it was fun, and I just learned to be a team player. I just wanted to win. It wasn't really about me. I would walk in the office at King High School in the coach's office, and it was so many letters in there for Teddy Grubbs, you couldn't even get in the door. It's like you got to move the letters out the way to get up in there. And, we ciphered through all of them. We all excited. So Willie Scott didn't have any of them. There was no offers for Willie Scott, and I just kept playing. I kept believing in myself. And I always, unfortunately, had to take a back seat to a player with a bigger name. And so coming out of King, we had like a really, really good team. We had Tyrone Adams, who went to Kansas State. We had Michael Bland, rest in peace, one of the highest jumping guys that you ever saw back in the day, and a very athletic, very good player as well. We had Keno. We had Teddy. We had like a really, really good team. So I just didn't get a chance to show all my ability running because I had to run the show, and either you're going to go out and be selfish and try to get yours, or you're going to win. And so I just chose to win. And so that was my career at King, and then went on to play. Actually, a lot of people don't know, I didn't go from King to Bradley because I didn't get any offers where all my friends, I really Marcus, I don't know how all them guys got offers and I didn't, but that's really what was happening. I didn't understand. I was young. Even players that I played with that didn't play for King, like Sherrod and all my boys, Sherrod Arnold, Eddie Hughes, everybody, you know, they all, and I love the fact that they did. I just didn't understand why I wasn't getting any offers. And so late that summer, this coach Bill Morris from Hillsdale College, and at the time the NAIA school, he walked in and he said, you know, I watch you play in the summer pro league against all them pros, and I don't understand why you don't have any offers, but I'm willing to. And before he even got it out his mouth, I was like, I'll take it. I didn't know what school it was. I didn't know his name. I didn't know anything. I was like, you talking about because that's all. That was everybody's dream, just to go to college and play basketball. But a lot of people do not know. I wasn't in that situation where I can turn down offers. I didn't even have any. Zero. Wow. Willie Scott, 0 offers. So and then I hear about all my boys. They're going to Kansas City. They're going to Duke. They're going to all these schools. And I'm like, you know, I grew up knowing to trust God, you know. So and I was always, you know, I wasn't a group type guy. I kind of kept to myself. And so I just kept praying. I was like, you know, Lord, just give me an opportunity like everybody else. And that's when this guy appeared and offered me a scholarship at the school, Hillsdale, Michigan. I went down there and just tore it up because all I needed was an opportunity. You know, the game was there. So I killed it, everything at Hillsdale for 2 years. And then I would come home and play in the summer pro league with Mitchell Anderson, my boy JJ. And he went back to Bradley and told Bradley, you know, I got a little guard that we need to check out, you know. And Dick Versace, his coach, was like, okay, well, you know, get him down here. Let's check him out. So I still was attending Hillsdale, but on spring break, I came home and I went down there and visited Mitchell, stayed in his room with him. And so he brought me in the office, and Dick Versace, our coach, leaned back in his chair, and Mitchell said, you know, this is the guard I was telling you about. And I'll never forget this day because he said, Mitchell, why would you bring this little dude in here? This dude can't play at our level. And, you know, Marcus, I had heard that all my life. You know, you're too small, you know, and so I said, Coach, I heard y'all was gonna have open gym upstairs. And he was like, yeah, we're gonna have open gym. I said, why don't you let me play with your guys, and why don't you just come up and watch me? And he said, yeah, I might come up there. And so we went up there and we played open gym, and the rest was history. Like I came back downstairs and he was like, I want to offer you a full scholarship. I said, well, I already have a school. I'm at a school. He said, I don't care if you're at a school. We're going to figure out a way to get you here at Bradley. And my first year at Bradley, we won national championship. You know, we won NIT, got stiffed in the NCAA tournament, won the conference, didn't get in. And so we played Syracuse and Oklahoma. We beat Purdue in the championship at Madison Square Garden. You know,
Wow.
That was my first year at Bradley. So
Wow.
I always tease Dick because Dick Versace went on to coach in the NBA, and I told him he owed me some money because he wouldn't have got there without me helping them get to the championship. So it's just been that type of story for me.
That's a great story.
That is a great story, man. And you coaches got to be careful, especially when you're talking to a Chicago kid who has that grit, you know, that toughness. So when you saying, why are you bringing this little guy in there? I know that just lit a fire, and you're like, man, I'm about to tear whoever up in front of me.
Yeah, you know how we play it. That's exactly what I was thinking about. And I hadn't even seen his team or the guards or anything. No offense to them guards because they are my friends today. But I went in there and just like, I didn't even let them bring the ball up. You know, like I think I stole the ball from the dude 3 times in a row. And the 4th time, Marcus, I stole it from him and gave it back to him. Like it was easy, you know, so. Because I was mad, you know what I'm saying? I had a chip on my shoulder. You know, I didn't get one D1 offer. Here I am, a Hall of Famer, national championship, at Bradley. I left there with a degree as well. And you know, nobody even gave me that opportunity, you know. So like you said, those coaches out there, they have to be really careful about, you know, prejudging players.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly with that, man. And we don't see that a lot. And just listening to you talk, Willie, I could tell that you were that type of player, that general, that you will take a back seat just to make somebody else look good. And that, to me, is a good sign of a good player, but also is preparing you for what you're doing now, which is coaching. You know, and I see you've been coaching for a very long time, man, and giving back, you know, to Chicago and to amongst other places that you visit. You're now living in Las Vegas and doing the same thing, coaching. And when you see people like yourself who's doing this, it shows me where your heart's at. You know, a lot of times people just, you know, say, well, I want to just coach boys and this and that. You just like me. I coach girls. I'm coaching the girls here in Sarasota, Florida, and I've been coaching the boys. So I see you down there coaching and doing your thing, man. Big ups to you on that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. You know, my journey was a little different. I really didn't ever think I was going to coach. That wasn't in the plan. You know, I came out of college, went overseas, had a great career in Argentina. #1 player in Argentina, first American point guard that was ever on the front cover of a magazine in Argentina, you know. So, but what happened, what happened was I got to Argentina and they told me they wanted me to score. And I'm like, oh, I'm in the perfect place because nobody never told me I could just go score. And so, yeah, and I happen to have a guy on my team, Faithful Reese from Uruguay, because you have 2 foreigners, as you know, that play over there. And he was the leading scorer of the league. So he averaged like about 32. And I came in at 20 and 10, 20 points, 20 assists. And, you know, but they told me they needed me to score, you know. And, Bobby, I'm so old that it wasn't a 3-point line when I played. Right. So even in college, when I go back and show my son, you know, the NIT championship game against Purdue, and I think I shot like maybe 5, 6 threes, but they only counted for 2 points. So I had the range, just wasn't getting credit for it. But when I went to Argentina, you know, I led the country in 3-point percentage, like 3-point percentages, field goal percentage. I'm sorry, because I could really shoot. I just never had an opportunity. Wow. You know, so that was a great career for me. I'm still in contact with some of the people over there, and they actually trying to work something out where they want me to come over there and coach. And you know, I might consider that. You know, but to get back to what I wanted to say, I didn't think about coaching until I moved to Mississippi. I was taking care of my mom, and I was running my company. I had a lot of prominent people, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, just to drop a few names. Since I'm on here, I might as well, right?
Drop it.
Well. And so I was down there taking care of her. I went to the golf course, and I was playing for a little while, and I couldn't stay long. So this older guy walked up to me. He said, young man, you have on some really sharp golf pants. I said, yeah, I make custom clothes. I can make you some. And he happened to be Tavesta Anderson, who was the head coach at Jackson State University, men's basketball. Okay. He had took a little break. He snuck out to play a little golf. I took a little break from my mom, and that's how we met. By the time we finished, Marcus, about 5 holes, he offered me the job. He offered me a coaching job. He said, I got 2 guys on staff, but you have one of the most amazing, brilliant basketball minds I've ever even been around. And he was an older guy. Wow. He said, I want you to be on our team. He said, I tell you what, I got 2 guys that I pay full time, but I got a guy that's going to give you $30,000. I'm going to take you to his office. He's going to give you the check, and you're going to be on my staff.
Wow.
And I had never even thought about coaching. In my mind, I was coach. I'll go watch all my clients play, or, you know, I studied the game, but I just never thought about coaching because I was doing so well. Well, the first game, y'all let me know if I'm talking too much.
No, keep
Go
rolling.
ahead.
Yeah, the first. So he
Yeah.
said, "Why don't you come down?" I said, "Well, I have to take care of my mom." He said, "Let me meet your mom." So I took him over there. He met her. He's like, "Look, this young man is special, and I want to offer him a job." And I said, "Well, I can't really travel a lot because I'm taking care of her." He was like, "Cool." So he took me down to the arena. He said, "I got this little point guard. I want you to work him out." And I've worked out all my life, but I never worked out anybody else. And so just off the top of my head, what I thought he needed is what I gave him. So I worked him out just off instinct. Ball handling drills, shooting drills, defensive stands, all the stuff that you got to learn. And he was like, "Man, you sure you haven't coached before?" Like, "Nah, I never coached." So this is kind of funny. So we get into the season, and you have scouting reports at that level. You have to break film. You got to come in there, print it up. And so we played 2 games. In the third game, he was like, "Willie, I want you to do the next scouting report." It's like, okay, cool. So I go home and I'm like, I have no idea about no scouting report. I remember sitting on the other side where they gave me a scouting report.
Right.
Right.
But I had never actually did one myself, prepared it myself. So I struggled with that the whole night. I was like, "God, you got to help me on this one, because I don't really know what to do. But I have all this basketball knowledge, and it was just instilled in me. It was just sitting there on reserve." And so I walked in there before the game, suited up, and I said, "Look, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you all. I had gained a little respect because I was in the practices with them. But I said, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna do the scouting report like everybody else. I don't even know how to do it like everybody else. This is my first coaching job. So number 10, send him left. He can't dribble with his right. Big man, he can only go one way." So I just kind of broke it down. Like I said, "Now, if you all listen to me, we're gonna win this game, And we went out and we won the game. I had broke it all down. After that game, because we beat a really good team. After that game, he said, "Do another scouting report." I said, "You want me to do it the same way I did that one?" He said, "I don't care how you do it, as long as they do what you tell them to do." Guys, I did 5 scouting reports in a row. We went 5-0.
Wow.
And so of course, I had to learn how to do it, but that's when I fell in love with coaching.
That was at Jackson State, coach?
That was at Jackson State.
What year was that? Because I was down there from 89 to 95.
Now you're making me really think. Let me see. I'm gonna give that some thought and tell you what year that was. That was my first coaching job. So I can help you out a little bit. My son is 11. That had to be 12 years ago.
Okay, so that was like 2008.
Yeah, something like that. So, and that's how I started coaching. We went all the way to the championship. Almost we lost on a buzzer beater to go to the NCAA tournament.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but what happened? The 2 other assistants, which they was cool, they was my boys. They was feeling a little some kind of way because I was kind of like the guy who don't supposed to be there, and all the attention, and the players like me and the coach liked me. He let me do all the scouting reports. So the coach came up to me and said, "My boys, they're a little upset." And I was like, shoot, where you at?
Did we lose?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, we see.
You guys are there?
Yeah, you can keep
we
talking.
still here.
Hold up.
We just can't see you.
We got Willie Scott in the building, baby. If you just joining us, the legend.
King High School, Bradley University, and just to hear the stories, man, of what he had to go through. So we're going to let him back in. He's coming back in.
Hey, big fella, Hillsdale, man, that's one of them academic schools too. You know that, right?
There you go.
Yeah, we can connect this audio, but yeah, man, Hillsdale, man, you got like a 28 on the ACT to go there or something.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to remove this other one he had. There we go. Yeah, man, but that's awesome to hear
I'm
these
sorry.
stories.
I'm sorry. You got me?
Yes,
It's
sir.
awesome to hear these stories, Willie. I think where did we leave off? Where did we leave
Oh,
off
he
at?
left off with the coaches being a little salt. The kids, the students are salty. Go ahead, coach.
Yeah. So, I was kind of in their way, and now that I've coached for a while, I can understand that, because they had like salary jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and, they were trying to get to the next level as well. So, here this guy come in unknown and unexpected, and, he know the game though. The
Mm-hmm.
one thing about him is I can't hate on him because he do know the game, and he got these players motivated, and we winning. And so he told me, he said, I won't bring you back, um, but I think you should pursue a coaching career. See, I've never seen anybody like it before. And so the job at Malcolm X, head coaching job at Malcolm X, came open right after that. My mom got better. I interviewed and got that job, came home, and they hadn't won in 10 years. They hadn't had a winning season in 10 years, and turned that program around
Wow.
1 year, basically. And that's what I'm kind of known for, just going in and turning it around right away from the bottom to the top. And it's been fun. My coaching career is a little different. Um, I I didn't like being an assistant, and I think I probably would have a really big time job right now if I would have just stayed as an assistant and rolled it out. But I just felt like I had so much knowledge and I understood the game, and I knew how to win. And so I think, a lot of these assistant coaches, and a lot of them are my friends, and they have great lives and great careers, but they just don't get that opportunity to become a head coach. And, I feel for them because some of them have done it for 10, 20, 30 years, and they never get that opportunity. I just never want to be that guy.
Right. Lib
Wow.
always talk about that too, about how guys don't get the
To
opportunity.
all of our listeners out there, we got right. To all of our listeners, we got the great Willie Scott joining us here today on All Ball Chicago. A straight up King legend, point guard, went on to do some great things at the University of Brad. Also, when you were at Bradley, you had, to me, just for me, just looking at on paper, that probably was one of the best, besides Hershey Hawkins and them team. I think you guys had to be one of the best teams to come out of Brad. Just looking at that roster, with you, Reese, JJ, that was that was a hell of a team, man.
Yeah, like I said, when I got there, Mitchell was pretty smart. He knew it was just one piece missing. That team that came back. You didn't mention David Thurkill, who was a first rounder for Boston, and Mitchell and Dono and Barney Mines was my two guard out of Joliet, big time player. Yeah, we were stacked. And then just think about it. We had Vorsey Winters coming off the bench, who also led the country in scoring out of Chicago. He was our sixth man.
Dang,
I forgot all about I forgot all about him, man.
Vorsey was our sixth man, so he didn't even start.
Y'all were loaded.
Yeah, we were loaded, and we just all decided we wanted to win because all of them could have wanted the ball every single time. But we sat down and talked about that, how far we want to go, and we decided we wanted to win. So, like you said, I was the general of that team. I had to just play my role. My role was to get everybody involved and myself, and it takes a lot. A lot of point guards not able to do that. They don't have a skill level that they either going to score it a lot or they only can pass it. So yeah, we had a great team, and I think it's one of the best teams that ever played at Bradley. And I say that even including, I might get a call on this one, but even including the Hershey Hawkins, Jim Les, little crew. They were good, and they went like 32-0 one year or 32-1, and they were rolling. They were really good. And you know, you can't really compare like somebody, you know, people would say, well, was your team better than their team? It's hard to say. And the only way you would know that is we have to play against each other.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. So I can never say who was the better team. But what I can say is we the last team that won the national championship. Now that 32-1 still came up short on that. So
Right.
I base it on great point guards win championships.
That's real. That's real. Hey, let me ask you, Coach Scott, man. You was great, man, and based on what I've been hearing, I heard you was just as good as Isaiah Thomas. I heard that. Did you ever try out for the NBA?
Yeah, actually, Isaiah and I'm gonna send you guys a picture. We was on the same team at 11 years old, and
Wow.
we used to beat everybody at Martin Luther King Boys Club on the west side of Chicago. We was on the same team, and we a lot of people back in the day compared us a lot, and I think we were really close, neck and neck. Something happened though. Isaiah, we call him Tuss. Tuss, he went away the first year in college, and when he came back that summer, he had decided I'm gonna be better than everybody. And he was. And I learned from that because I think he just decided that. Like he already was good, you know, we all was good, our little crew, but he just went on a mission. And actually, I didn't get drafted, but I ended up in the Detroit Pistons camp. I was a free agent, and I did well enough to get picked up with the Pistons over the summer, and played really, really well. Got hurt, couldn't really get back. I had a really bad ankle sprain, and they brought in another player, Earl Curitan. He wasn't a guard, so they didn't replace me. They replaced me with another player, but not another guard. So they didn't sign me, and that's when I had an opportunity to go overseas. But me and Isaiah, we would go at it.
Yeah, we heard. We heard. Did you hear that, Liv? I heard you was a problem.
Yeah, that's one of my best
It's a
friends.
problem for a lot of people.
I have so much love and respect for him, with all the accolades and all the accomplishments that he's endured, and just happy for him, But to me, he's one of the best players, especially one of the best guards that ever played the game of basketball.
I agree.
And Willie, I want to ask you this, man, because we have people that listen to the show, and then we have people that say they point guards. I'm going to go through the mindset of a point guard. Like when you make that pass, you're making the right pass for them guys to go up and shoot, whether that's your small forward, two guard, center power forward. But a lot of point guards that's just getting into it don't really know. They just passing it and moving and cutting. I think you were one of those guards that said, you know what, I'm going to pass it. All you got to do is go right up, or all you got to do is be ready to shoot because I see you. Just because I'm not looking at you don't mean I don't see you. And I think a lot of point guards don't understand that you're trying to get assists. You're trying to, because you average six, close to 7 assists a game in college. And you're not just doing that just by passing and moving and cutting. You're giving them the ball where it needs to be.
Yeah. I still hold assist record for the most assists in one game. I think it's either 21 or 22 at Bradley. And that's kind of unheard of, to have that many assists in one game. But to answer your question, I think point guards, they see that play unfold before it happened. And, so a lot of times, if you're a shooter coming off a screen, you coming off a down screen and you got your hands up and you ready, and you stepping into it and they get it to you late, it's very frustrating for that guy. So for me, I've always thought ahead. So if I already know you, I can see you and I know you coming off the screen and you get a great screen. As soon as you turn the corner, the ball is already on its way.
Right.
So I learned to just be ahead. And I just think that's one of the assets to being a great point guard is just seeing the entire floor and seeing everything. If I'm going downhill and I'm attacking and I get to the top of the key or the free throw, I already know what I'm gonna do. I already know what's gonna happen. And I think a lot of point guards, they see it too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the best way to describe it. You know, I could see everybody all at one time.
That's interesting, Willie. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that, man, because I played with the Pistons, and Isaiah was the point guard, and we had this play where I can come off the single or the double screen. So I'm going across the double, but I'm hitting right at the middle of the basket, and the ball comes, and I duck. I'm like, whoa. And he stopped. Isaiah said, he stopped. He said, man, you open. And I'm like, man, you almost hit me. He said, no. You're open.
Right. That's right. And that's
so you got to be ready at all times. I said, I get it. Nobody never taught me that. I was thinking that I had to go around the whole play to make sure I get this ball and catch it and shoot. And he was like, no, if you got the advantage on this player, man, who's playing defense on you, I see it. I'm going to throw it. You just got to be ready.
Absolutely. And, you know, it goes both ways, Marcus. So Isaiah has the ball on myself, and we can see that. And what we see is that your man has already cheated and went over the screen. So you left under the basket by yourself. We could see that. You know, the question is, can you see it? So like you said, so a lot of times players don't even know they're open. For example, if you're on the block and your guy is face guarding you on the block, then you're open because he can't see me pass it to you. So I always would pass it over the top, get a real easy one. And in my mind, that's one assist. And so, you know, you just like scores, that's 2 points, that's 3, that's 5. A point guard is thinking the same thing as assists. You know, like, you know, I'm trying to get 10 a game. Every game, I'm trying to get 10 assists. You know, so that's just a sign of a true point guard. I think point guards are different now. You know, most of the point guards, they scored. You know, they scored a lot. And I won't say there's anything wrong with that, but it's just kind of different now.
Yeah.
That's the culture. It's a guy on here that just said, Jeff Thompson. He said, best point guard I ever played with. Great player in person. What's up, my brother, Jeff Thompson? To you, Willie Scott.
Yeah, Jeff, that's my boy, man. We, I think it was called Marathon Oil. Like after I finished college, they would get college players to go back and play against. We get a team, and we would travel, and we would play like colleges, like big colleges too.
I remember that. I remember those teams.
Yeah, because I remember getting a hold of Muggsy Bogues. I think he was with maybe Wake Forest, maybe I think. And so, you know, they were like, man, that's Muggsy Bogues. I was like, yeah, and this is Willie Scott. And so, you know, I just kind of humiliated him a little bit. And, Jeff was there to witness that. And Jeff, he was an awesome player too. And he's exactly what you're talking about. He knew when he was open, and he knew I was going to get it to him at the perfect time. He led us in scoring. Really tough player. He played for money as well overseas. Great friend. Thanks, Jeff.
Shout out Jeff Thompson for the love.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're back. You know, you had a wonderful career. You went over in Argentina. I guess, you know, they treat you like God over there because you did so many great things over there. And now you're back, you know, in the States doing your thing, coaching, giving back. How does that feel? You know, and I know you got a son. Does your son play basketball too?
Yeah, my son is 11, and he's going to be good. He's just lazy. So once I can get that out of him, and but he can really shoot it. And the first thing I taught him was how to shoot, because, you know, the game has changed. And if you can't really shoot it, it's going to be hard for you to get on the floor. And so his peers, 11, 12 years old, he probably shoot it better than all of them. And so once I get him motivated and self-motivated to really buy in, he handles it really well. He's like a combo. He can see the floor. He likes to pass it, but he can really shoot it. So, and I know a lot of parents say that about their kids, but if you notice, the first thing I did say was he lazy. So I
Right,
was
right.
straight up about that first. But yeah, he shoot long range. He was one of the top. He's in 6th grade now. He was one of the top 5th graders here in Vegas. He averaged 22 points a game. That's kind of unheard of. Yeah, it's unheard of because he shoot a lot of threes. You know, so he's doing well. He's in 6th grade now, and you know, I even I want to continue to coach him, and it's all about him now. It's not really about me anymore. You know, I have another venture that we'll talk about in a little bit. I have a golf line that I'm launching right now. But, you know, every chance I get, you know, I just try to spend quality time with him because I grew up, my father was in the house, but he was, unfortunately, he had a drinking problem, and I never had a relationship with him. You know, I saw him every day, but we didn't really interact. And so I never wanted to drink, take drugs or smoke or any of that because that's all I saw as a young man. And, you know, I also, as I became an adult, I realized that I just didn't have that father figure. And so for me, it's just been trial and error. Like I jump out there in this world, and this world will eat you up, you know? And so I've made some mistakes, and, you know, but I kept getting up. You know, I kept getting back up, and I thank God just for the strength that allowed me to not quit. You know, every time they told me I was too little, you can't play, I kept going. They told me you can't start your own business, I started it. Told me you can't coach when you're almost 50, I've done that. And so now they telling me how you gonna start a golf line, I'm gonna do that too.
That's
But what's important to me is my family. You know, I have 2 daughters, I have a son. My daughters, one is in Peoria, my stepdaughter is in Chicago, and I don't really say stepdaughter much, but and my son, I have him full time.
That's your daughter, that's right.
Yep. So you know, I just want to focus on him and teach him how to be a young man first. And you know, I asked him not too long ago. I said, "So what do you go?" You know, well, not I didn't ask him. Somebody asked him, like, "What are you gonna be when you grow up?" He said, "I'm gonna be a basketball player like my dad." And I let that go. But once we got home, I said, "You know, I'm not gonna ask for much from you, but what I would like for you to think about and start answering this question a little different. Tell them that you're going to be a professional, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be something else other than a basketball player. Let's make basketball secondary, your secondary goal." And so, you know, he wants to be an engineer. So now if you ask him, it's like, I want to be an engineer, you know, I want to get into technology, and I also want to play basketball. So I like the sound of that better. You know, if we out here and we trying to, and I tell all my kids that, I tell all my players that, and here I am, I have a son, and I haven't told him that. So I wanted to correct that immediately and just keep him on the right track. He's a great student, honor roll student. And I told him, you can play any sport you want to, or you don't have to play sport, but you're going to work out, you're going to do something.
That's real.
I actually like that though, Willie, what you said. I mean, I wish I had my parents say the same thing to me. You know, not that I turned out to be a bad kid, but to have those goals, like being an engineer or being a doctor or being a lawyer or whatever it may be, right? If you have that in front of you, and then you have basketball along with that, we all know that your basketball career is not going to last for no 20 years. You know, sound like for instance, I only played 4 years in the NBA, and then I went overseas and played another 6. So I'm 31 years old out of the game. What am I going to do now? You know, so that's a good point, man, that to teach our kids not just to shoot for basketball, but shoot for you really, really can do for the rest of your life.
Right. Absolutely. You know, because they didn't ask to be here.
Right. And it takes the pressure off of that basketball piece. If you're focusing on academics, basketball becomes fun, like it should be, right?
Absolutely. Great point.
Yeah, man. My mom was all about that too, man. She was like, basketball, dude, don't even think about it.
That's what your mom said.
Like, Mom, but I'm pretty good, Mom.
Yeah, but that's a good point that Willie said, I mean, to his son. I mean, it got his son to thinking, you know what? I can be that. You know, I don't have to put all my eggs in the basketball side, Dad. I'm thinking I'm doing it. I'm saying the right thing, Dad, because that's what you did. Well, no, you don't have to
Right.
follow my path. You can do your
Do your
own
own
thing, man. So
thing.
that's great advice, man.
Especially
Great
an
advice.
engineer, Liv. I mean, an engineer, man. I mean, he papered up, man. He gonna come up out
Yeah,
that money, papered up, man.
man. So let's give some shouts out to our
Okay, we got a few people on here. Your boy Kevin Haywood always checking in. He said, basketball aside, I need Willie to make me one of them suits, man. Shout out Kevin Haywood, man. We appreciate you always watching. Demetrius Freeling, another legendary show. Appreciate you, my brother. Jeff Thompson, his guy, the one that said the point guard, he's the best point guard. Thank him for watching. Frederick Easter, great show. Jonathan Hill. So those
wow,
are our shout outs. That's on the live stream. And then I got another live stream going as well. But
wow,
shout
yeah,
out to Willie Scott, though, man. Such a
man,
humble
dude.
guy, man. You could tell he was a real floor general. You could tell point guard, Liv. Point
Yep,
guard.
yep. I mean, just listening to what he's accomplished, man, and how he always had, something, somebody trying to tear him down. Like, you're too small. All right, I'm gonna prove you. All right, can't run your own business, So he elaborated on a lot of those things, and he went on to the next level with it, to do those things and probably times 10 it, like took it to a whole nother level. So when he comes back on, we're gonna talk about his golf line if we can get him back on. If not,
We had a couple other people too. We had Netta McCormick say hi. Thanks, Netta, for watching. Anthony Alford. What up, my brothers? Willie Scott was cold. He said a legend. Put a king by his name. And of course, Demetrius always with us. My main man Hollis. Thanks, Hollis, for watching. My man Mississippi Slab. And Glover Love, man. He say Muggsy Bogues was too little. He say mouse in the house, man.
Too little. But did you hear some of the things that he was saying though, Rob, when he said that, man, I knew I could score, but I knew I had better scores, like a JJ Anderson, that I knew I had to get the rock to. It's
point guards don't think like that now.
A lot of point guards wouldn't think like that.
No, especially not right now.
They'd be like, I'm gonna get mine. Like you got to get yours on your own too.
Yeah.
But he was definitely a throwback point guard, man, and I miss that. That those point guards should be thinking. I know like he said, I know we in different time, different eras, but man, get you 20 assists like a Scott Skiles did back in the day. I
tell you, that young boy Murray over there at Denver is doing a good job of mixing it up, man. Your team.
Yeah, but he giving people fits, Murray.
Getting them bucks, ain't he, man?
But the big joker is too, though. I mean, he's a problem.
So how do they match up with the Lakers, you think? It ain't gonna be easy like they think, because they got Millsap, man. They tough.
Hey, let me tell you something. I don't think they thinking that it's gonna be an easy win. No. I know the Lakers not. And I don't think LeBron James is gonna even let that happen. He's gonna, I wanted to talk about that with Willie too, man, about how in this era it seems like the players are more so the coach, and the coaches are not really coaching like they used to, being hard and tough on players. Because if you look at it, Doc Rivers, I'm just gonna say Doc Rivers, he was sitting back relaxing, not relaxing, but he wasn't really getting into him. He was like, all right, guys, you're gonna do it, just take the shot. And my thing is, I think he should have been like, man, you two are my superstars and you guys are not doing it. So I need more productivity out of you. And if I can't get that, then I need to put somebody else in that will.
Right. Yeah. What's the little dark guard that played with them?
Patrick Beverly?
No, the one that could actually score. Now, nothing against PB, but PB play a lot of defense. The other kid that they brought over there, he a guard. Let dark skin.
Oh, played for Detroit.
They didn't even play him last night.
Reggie. Yeah, Reggie. I don't know. I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Reggie. They played him a little bit. He got in a little bit yesterday.
Man, no, man. Doc and them got out coached, man. They got out coached, man. Because I
No,
would have,
but
when I'd have got in Kawhi and them, I would have
but
got
that's
on them.
but that's what I'm
Paul George, you shooting shots off the side of the backboard? Man, timeout, man.
but
What
that's
the
what I'm
hell was
talking.
that?
But that's what I'm talking about. We in a different era, man.
You can't
These
say nothing
coaches
to
are
these
not really
dudes.
coaching like they used to, man, because you got some sensitive players now.
Right.
You know, so that's what I'm thinking, you know, because I know Doc Rivers, you know, is a hell of a coach, you
Yeah,
know,
they said
and
Reggie
I just don't
Jackson.
feel that Reggie. I knew it was Reggie, but I didn't know his last name. But back to what I'm saying, you know, like even with LeBron James, you hear this all the time. People say LeBron James runs every team he's on. Like he basically is the coach out there on the floor.
Right.
You know, I seen LeBron go to the bench, to the sideline sometime and say, "No, we're gonna do this." You know, even when they
Right.
played against the Bulls, when he was with the Cleveland, I think with Cleveland or Miami, was one of them. Remember the timeout they called, and the coach was like, "No, let's run this out of bounds play." And LeBron's like, "No, we're not running that." So
Wow.
it's just it's a different era, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we didn't started as the sensitivity league.
and guys making a boatload of money.
Well, your boy over there at Denver said, man, in that first series, he was like, they told us to pack our bags. He was like, man, what am I packing my bag for? I'm not ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? And he been out there, man.
Right.
Shout out to that boy Murray. What's
Well,
his name?
man,
Murray.
yeah, Murray's a knockdown shooter. I mean, his coach, Calipari, has said that he's going to be one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Man, he throwing behind the back passes on. How do you throw about? They supposed to have the best defense in the world. He just lollygaggly threw a behind the back pass. You see that pass he threw to Joker? I like Jokic or whatever. I said,
The
they
Joker,
don't even
yeah.
see them, man. Because I was over there watching it with your bro, Tracy, last night. I actually lost money on that game because I bet him and his daughter $10 that they was going to come back. I was like, watch this. Nothing.
And you talked to me earlier, and I told you who's going to win.
Yeah.
Like, you don't listen, man. You got to start listening. Like, man, you got to start listening, man. But yeah,
well, it
man,
don't look like Willie Scott coming back on, big bro.
He said he probably couldn't come back because of, you know, he is
Brian
at
Gay.
school. I mean, he's taking care of some business and doing his thing, man. But he did say he had a golf clothing line coming out, and maybe we can get him back on for that, along with somebody else that we wanted to talk to, so we get, you know, get both of them at the same time. So, but yeah, man, that was a good one.
Who we got tonight? Any game tonight?
I think it is a game tonight, right?
Western Conference Finals. I know Boston, Miami gave Boston. I thought I had Miami.
No. It's no more games. I don't think there's no game today.
Right.
There was 2 yesterday.
Miami snuck that game out of there, didn't they?
Yeah, because the Lakers already won, so they wait.
But you see, what's his name? Boy, Bam, that block Tatum shot. Magic talking about, that's the greatest block I ever seen in NBA playoff history.
Hey, that was, I looked at it too. I was like, he actually had to go with his left hand to block that shot, man. You know, and he's a right-hand player. Right. And it was strong. So that shows you how strong he is, man, to block that shot, because Tatum cocked it back.
Right. And that was for game.
Like with a lot of force. And he caught it, man. So that shows you how strong that man is, man. Man. But I loved it. You know, I loved it. You know, I think Tatum was like challenging him. Like, man, if you're going to block it, you're going to block it. You know, so great game, man. Great game. I think that Eastern Conference final is going to be crazy.
And I'm like, I feel like somebody in the East going to win it. I got Miami winning the whole damn thing, man. They just so grimy.
That's not a bad choice, man. Not a bad choice.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see, man. Again, man, I'd like to thank Willie Scott for coming on today, dropping some knowledge. He's doing his thing, got a lot of things going on, so I appreciate him coming on for that short time. We'll try to get him on again. And Bob, just enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. That's why when he said, am I talking too much? No, man, this is about you. It's not about us. We just give you the outlet. All Ball Chicago is giving our guests the outlet to talk and speak about what they want to talk about, whether that's basketball, business, whatever it may be. You can come on All Ball Chicago. We do have Trash. I have Trash number, Sean Wright, aka Trash. I have his number. We're gonna get him on. I also have the great, sweet Charlie Brown number. So I'm gonna give him a call and try to get him on as well next week. So man,
we rocking.
We might even pop him up this week. We never know.
Man, we got one more, man. We at Wednesday, man. We got one more show in us, man.
You know, we might, you know, so guys, be on the Facebook. Get the notification on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. On YouTube, we got a YouTube channel, All Ball Chicago. Go check it out. We ready.
Yeah. Shout out to Wesley Cochran, man. I see he always chiming in. He says posters are very